Welcome back to the 5A5 show. I'm Tyler Strollo.
And I'm Austin Eschberger.
And yes, you may be realizing that this is not Bailey Morse. Bailey Morse is overloaded. We will talk about that later this episode and also in the after show. But for right now, our co-interim host right now is Mr. Austin Eschberger, so give it up for him. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I want to get talking sports.
Yeah, so
Let's do it.
let's get right to it. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni has announced there will be a quarterback competition in the Eagles camp. So, I mean, they're not ready to name him quarterback, but they also just traded back to 12.
They traded back to 12. So if they're going to take a quarterback in the draft, you wait until the second round and you get a discount quarterback. You make them compete.
But could we see a quarterback like Mac Jones perhaps drop down to 12?
I don't see it happening with the need for quarterback in the league. You can't have Mac Jones drop to 12 unless if some very surprising trades happen on draft day.
Yeah, that would be interesting. In other football news, and actually our only football news of the day, besides the Eagles quarterback thing, well, we do have our pre-draft power rankings.
We do have pre-draft power rankings for the after show.
Yes, the first after show with Big Ash.
Yes.
Big Ash being the oldest Eschberger. His brother Zach Eschberger helped me out in the Sabres episode, and his youngest brother Will being my left tackle on the O-line. So
he gets around.
He does. So starting off, the quarterbacks can now wear number 1 through 19.
Yes, that is very interesting. I have actually never seen a quarterback with a number over 17.
Yeah, I think 18. Well, Kyle Orton. 18.
Kyle Orton, yeah, he
For the Bills for at least a year.
was number 18.
Running backs 1 through 49 and 80 through 89. I feel like it's going to be surreal seeing a guy like
very interesting.
Derrick Henry with a 2 possibly. He rocked that in college at Alabama.
Steelers draft a running back, takes number 84. There goes AB's number.
Ooh, that's a tough number.
I know.
Wide receivers 1 through 49 and 80 through 89. Maybe Odell. He rocked that 3 at LSU.
Odell rocking a 3. You could see Gabe Davis switching up his number before the season starts.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of football cards with him in his 3.
There is, which if he went back to 3, that would.
I would definitely buy some more.
I would be looking interested in that.
Yeah. Tight ends 1 through 49 and 80 through 90. I feel like a tight end wearing anything under.
Anyone wearing the number 49 is obviously a blocking. Wearing around 49, like within the high 40s, is definitely a blocking tight end.
Right, and
Tommy Sweeney.
I can't
guys like
imagine.
that.
I can't imagine a tight end wearing like a 1.
I can't see tight end wearing a 1 either. Unless if you're Kyle Pitts, that would make sense because you're just a big, tall brute of a man.
Offensive line 50 through 79. I don't really like how they don't let them breathe.
There should be more variation within the O-line numbers because I feel like it is there's less restrictions within college football. I'm not sure of the exact numbers because I don't watch a lot of college football.
Right.
I only really watch college football for the cornerbacks, which we'll get to in a minute. But
Right.
Truly, the line should have more breathing room when it comes to their numbers and the selection that they can make.
And being a lineman on a varsity football team, yes, I would absolutely love some, tone down the restrictions.
You
We
know.
linemen are people too. Speaking of linemen, the D-line can wear 50 through 79 and 90 through 99, so it really doesn't sound like too much of a change, if any.
Not really. I mean,
The 50s.
it depends what you consider D-line, because if you consider an edge rusher a D-line, that's that has cause for variation within players' numbers.
Right. Now, linebackers, this is where it kind of starts to get
Interesting.
Yes. 1 through 59 and then 90 through 99. So I just can't imagine like a linebacker, a big, probably the most athletic player on the field, I'd argue, when it comes to strength and power all combined and speed. I can't imagine them wearing a single digit.
You see a big guy like Khalil Mack, who's primarily an edge rusher, but he's a linebacker. He's classified as a linebacker. You see him out there in the number 98. just doesn't really I mean, it'll be different for sure. I mean, it's something we'd have to get used to, seeing that the rule has gone through. It's
Right.
confirmed for the league. So it'll be interesting to see who picks what numbers, if people do change their numbers, and what these rookies coming up will do with their numbers.
Right. D-backs, like you were saying, they can wear 1 through 49.
1 through 49. So, yes, the defensive backs, variation in numbers through college, see a lot of it. The one thing I ask, Tre'Davious White, please don't change from 27. I know you were 18 in college. Phenomenal college player. Phenomenal NFL player, top 5 corner in the league.
Top
Please, you're number 1 in the league, cornerback-wise. Please do not change from number 27. I've invested so much money into that number.
And we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes.
That whole theory, well, not much of a theory, but more of a discussion about, the change of a jersey number, how it affects the
And
fan.
how other players may switch their numbers who are currently in the league.
Mm-hmm. And then kickers and punters are now able to wear 1 through 19, which is kind of a cool thing.
Good
that
for
they're
them.
Bumping it
Good
up.
for them. They deserve it.
For the brand. Shout out Pat
Yes.
McAfee. So, Austin, why don't you expand on the whole, jersey number swapping, all the money you've put in?
So, okay. I'm an Orlando Magic fan for basketball. I had a Nikola Vucevic jersey and an Aaron Gordon jersey. I bought both of them last year when this pandemic hit. Didn't get to wear much of the Aaron Gordon jersey because he was out last year with injuries, and then we traded him to the Nuggets this year. So I go, okay, I'll get a Vucevic jersey. I said that around December, assuming we wouldn't get rid of him. Well, we got rid of him. So now I'm stuck with just my Shaq jersey, and I don't really feel like painting my Vucevic jersey red and becoming a Bulls fan.
But no, yeah, I get what you mean, and we saw this with Stephon Diggs, where he tweeted out something along the lines of, I don't really want to change my jersey and make people buy another one.
Buy another jersey to represent him. Because truly, what people will do is just tape over the other number if they truly don't care to buy another jersey, if they don't have the money to do so, if they don't want to spend the extra money to buy another jersey for a player who just needlessly switches their number. Now, obviously, for a player, that their college number might be very sentimental to them, but I mean, you're in the big leagues now. Yes,
Right.
You gotta stick with the number you got when you came up.
Exactly. And, I think we could see, I just feel like Derrick Henry.
You think he's gonna switch?
I don't think he will. I think
No?
he's had such a good career with that
22.
number so far. I think the 22 kind of shows his evolution as a player.
Watch him turn into a 9 or something.
Ugh. But I could see a guy like Odell go back.
Odell
to
could definitely go back to his college jersey.
I-
Same with Jarvis Landry, but honestly, with those guys, I wouldn't mind seeing it just
Right.
because it's so fun to watch them play. I'm no means a Brown fan, but watching Baker Mayfield switch his number to 18 or 19, watching Odell switch down to 1, that would be a lot of fun to see on the field.
That would be great. But that's all we got for football. Welcome to the basketball portion of the episode. We'll be going over the current MVP race and then also the standings. And then that'll be all for today. But then we'll have a very important after show that if you do watch us, I'm hoping you do.
It's an impact.
It is a very impactful show. Obviously, new co-host, same co-host, but the after show is going to hold a lot of, important messages. But anyways, without further ado, I'd say the MVP race is narrowed down to 3 players with 1 player as the outlooker. We'll say that the outlooker currently is Luka Doncic, who is averaging a solid 28.7 points, a nice, I think that is, 8 rebounds exactly, and then 8.7 assists on the year, and a steal. So he's having a very good season.
Have a great season.
And especially on a Mavericks team that's, they're 7th seed, but I'd say they're struggling. He doesn't really have a solidified second
He
star.
doesn't have a second player with him. Porzingis has gotten out of his prime. He's not the age anymore.
He gets
They
hurt.
need to find a second man for Luka Doncic.
Correct. That leads us to our third man, which is Nikola Jokic, who is the center for the Nuggets.
Speaking of Nikola Jokic, he just lost his second man, or as some would say, Jamal Murray is now playing not playing. And again, Jokic losing his second man there.
Yeah, and it's Jamal Murray's been on a tear since the bubble last year, but Jokic is averaging 26.4 points, 11 rebounds, 8.7 assists, a steal, .4, and then .7 blocks. So for a center, he's having an outstanding year. I think I'd put him.
They're very impressive statistics
Yes.
for a center. Not even throughout this season alone, but throughout any NBA season. It's impressive statistics. He's a talent that we generally haven't seen in the NBA because he can actually shoot the basketball consistently.
Right, and unlike Giannis, he's got range. He really does. And then that leads us to our next guy, Joel Embiid. 30 points, 11.1 rebounds, and 3 assists. See, the staggering difference between these players is that Jokic averages 8.7 assists as a center, and Embiid's also a center, but he only averages 3.1, which is kind of, And these three, by the way, these three candidates are in no order whatsoever.
No.
And, I just think the 3 assists is kind of a skid mark on Joel Embiid's chances.
It is, even though he was out for 2 weeks. I mean, obviously, he's got to dish that ball out more to his teammates. I mean, he's got Ben Simmons and he's got
Tobias Harris.
Yes, Tobias Harris, who can effectively get points as well. But Joel Embiid, with the 2 weeks, I believe, he was out for 2 weeks, that's still an impressive season. And without those 2 weeks missing, who knows what his statistics would look like right now.
Right.
Probably within the same range, but could be different assist-wise, could be different rebound-wise. Who knows?
Correct. And then that leads us to our final man. I'm sure you all know.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. He's averaging 31.1 points, 5.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and a steal, .2. So I'm not on the Curry train as much as I originally was, considering, I guess you want to compare him to Luka.
Okay. I would compare him to Luka, but here's what I'm going to say in defense of Steph Curry. What's the Golden State Warriors starting lineup right now? Because they're without Klay Thompson.
Correct.
They're without when Steph Curry won MVP, he had Andre Iguodala. He had Draymond Green.
Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson. And he had another man in there. I can't remember.
Did he have KD?
He had KD one of the years, I believe. 2016?
2 of the years. He didn't have him 16. He had him 17, 18.
17, 18. So I don't know if he did have him for...
His back-to-back, because I think that was 15, 16, you're right. But no, he did have a very good supporting cast.
He had Andre Iguodala, who I believe is the most underrated NBA player of all time, which is a hot take, but...
I mean, it's somewhat correct. It has weight behind it.
It does. I mean, he is truly underappreciated, but we can get to that in another episode.
I want Iguodala. Shout out to ESPN.
Yes. Iguodala is a phenomenal basketball player, but back on Steph Curry.
Right. So, just the thing is that, Steph and Luka really both don't have that established second guy.
They don't have a second man right now.
Well, Curry does usually, but at the moment...
He's without Klay Thompson. He's playing some of the best basketball he's played in his career.
So when you look at it, Curry is obviously averaging roughly, 2 or 3 more points than Luka, which, okay, Curry's just an animal. But here's the rebounds. Curry averages 5.5 rebounds, Luka 8. Curry averages 5.9 assists, Luka averages 8.7. So I'm kind of starting to see a bit of a disconnect here, which might honestly move Luka up in the conversation. And I don't know, maybe that moves Embiid out. The 3 assists is kind of pitiful.
The 3 assists, for 2 weeks missing, I'd say there are 4 people in that conversation. I'd say those 4 players are solidified some of the best players we're seeing in basketball right now.
I could definitely
no
agree on
doubt
that.
about that. And a quote from Steph Curry, he said he had to be the MVP this year, which it explains his frustrations within the team. He's missing players. He's missing staple players within the team, and he's performing incredibly well. Whether or not he's winning games or not doesn't take away from the fact that he's playing some of the best basketball from a point guard that we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year for him, and as we're about to get, talking about the standings, you'll see why he could have some frustrations. But
Absolutely.
with the standings, we will have Mr. Eschberger here diagnose.
You want me to start in the East?
Yes, dissect. He will dissect the East.
Alrighty. So, to start us in the East, we have the 76ers in first place, 39-20. The Nets, second place, 39-20. The only difference there is that the 76ers have more divisional wins. We have in third place the Bucks, 36-22. The Knicks, who have been playing phenomenal basketball in their last 10 games,
8-game win streak.
33-27. Obi Toppin and Julius Randle, phenomenal basketball. Honestly, Julius Randle's in my top 10 for the MVP right now. But number 5, the Atlanta Hawks. And for a little bit there, they were without Trae Young.
They still are without him.
They go out the other night,
He
too.
just sprained his ankle
He
against
did.
the Knicks. I think Trae Young, here's a hot take. I don't really have a lot of faith in Trae Young. I think he's an excellent basketball player. I think he's shown a lot of glimpses. But
I don't think he's clutch.
I don't think he's clutch, and I think he gets injured a lot.
He does.
Now, granted, I think that if he can stay healthy, I think that he is going to be a very good
Could
player.
propel himself to the next level of player. Now, number 6, we have the Celtics, 32-27. Now, that's kind of disappointing for the team that they've built around. And Jason Tatum had kind of a slump towards the middle of the season, but they're back to playing pretty good basketball. Number 7 is the Heat, 31-28. Number 8 is the Hornets, 28-30. Number 9 is the Pacers, 27-31. 10 is the Wizards,
Oh, God.
who are 25-33. And the Wizards, some of my biggest grievances within the NBA, Russell Westbrook doesn't get the respect he deserves.
He actually gets slandered
He gets slandered
much.
very much, and he has, second most triple-doubles of all time?
I think so.
And I think he's moving up to number 1 before he ends his career. Number 11, we have the Chicago Bulls, 25-34.
Poor Zach LaVine, man.
Poor Zach LaVine and poor Nikola Vucevic.
Which I don't know how when you add someone like Vucevic and you pair him with LaVine, you don't start winning more
You
games.
have to win more games. It's got to be a coaching error at this point.
Mhm.
Number 12, we have the Toronto Raptors, 25-34.
Look at our guys at the bottom.
Yep.
Here we go.
And then we get into Ty Strollo's team. Number 13, the Cleveland Cavaliers at 21-37.
Please end
Hey,
me.
at least you've got 20 wins.
Yeah.
Number 14,
Oof.
the Orlando Magic,
Yikes.
18-41. Trading away Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic. I think Kem got traded too. Kem Birch.
I think he did.
I think he got traded. It was either him or one of our other big men. It's time for a rebuild, but I wish we could have. It's unfortunate that it had to be this year after I spent all that money on jerseys. Besides the point, at least we're not last. Number 15, the Detroit Pistons at 18-42. One more game, guys. We could be the bottom of the league.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I'm concerned about the Cavaliers because they have a team right now that they're trying to win games. They have a decent starting 5 in Colin Sexton. I believe Garland is out there as well. I
Yep.
believe Chetty Osman and Kevin Love are both out there as well. You did have Andre Drummond out there for a bit, but nope. I think JaVale McGee, nope, he's gone. So Taron Prince also just got hurt.
If I can rant Magic wise
Go
for a
for
second. Cole Anthony has been playing all right basketball recently. Terrence Ross, I love seeing you out there playing. Mo Bamba out there playing, always love seeing it. When we go and draft, we need to get guys to support Cole Anthony because we can't keep wasting draft picks like this. Not that Mo Bamba, but we passed on, I believe, some phenomenal players in the past few drafts and picked, when we picked Mo Bamba could have fallen to this second round.
Mo Bamba's got a song though.
He
Roll the song.
yeah. I'll let you take the West.
On to the Western Conference. In front, At the number 1 seed, we have the Utah Jazz. I think it's about time that they started hitting on all cylinders.
The
quite
Jazz are
frankly.
playing phenomenal basketball.
Best ball movement in the NBA. Their team is just a well-oiled
And
machine.
Donovan Mitchell, obviously one of the most explosive talents in basketball right now.
Number 2, we got the Suns. Good to see a Phoenix team do something.
If there's a team that's not the Nets that win the championship this year, I want it to be CP3 and the Suns.
I agree. Then we got the Clippers, who aren't underachieving for once.
They aren't underachieving, but there's still a lot of criticism going to that team. I don't completely understand it. I mean, you're going to win games, you're going to lose games. It's basketball. You're not going to win every game, and especially with a tightened season like this, shorter season but more compact season, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have guys going out, not playing. I think that they're doing pretty well
I agree.
for the Clippers.
The Nuggets are at the 4 at 38-20, which, losing Jamal Murray.
That could drop them a little bit.
That will.
But if he comes back before the playoffs start, they could be a lethal team at
He tore his ACL.
Never mind. I didn't know what injury he had.
He did get a surgery, though, and it is all good. But
Okay. Good
at
to
5
hear.
is the Lakers at 35-24, which LeBron and 8. Well, LeBron's hurt. I think
80's still out.
80,
Is he?
I think he is still out.
Okay, so
Hot take here. This is going to be the injury that starts making LeBron's play start to go down. I feel like every really good player doesn't really get injured a ton. Like MJ didn't really get injured a lot, but then they have one like major injury that keeps him out for a couple weeks,
Few
and then
weeks.
that plagues him.
So here's the thing with the Lakers being at 5. If they drop 1-2 more spots and are the 7th seed, that's dangerous.
Yes.
Because then you've got 80, LeBron, Cal Kuzma, Alex Caruso, all those guys. They have Drummond, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they have
gosh.
Drummond too. So that's a dangerous team at a low seed.
Yeah, and then we got the Blazers at the 6th seed with a record of 32-26. It's Dame time. McCollum has had a pretty good comeback,
Collins had a good year.
which,
Carmelo playing well.
Melo has been playing well. The Mavericks at the 7, 32-26. Blazers are ahead because of a better conference record. The Mavericks are a very woeful team. Earlier, before the trade deadline, I thought they should trade for Bradley Beal. I said, maybe 2 first-rounders and Kristaps Porzingis and maybe a second.
You know who they could use there? Is Russell Westbrook.
They really could. Honestly, they just need another playmaker. And the fact that they really can't do that and they're still managing to make the playoffs is kind of a testament to Luka Doncic.
It is to Luka Doncic.
His absolute dominance. But anyways, now we're on to the Grizzlies, 29-28. Ja Morant have a year.
John Morant's having a great sophomore season.
The Spurs at the 9, and
I don't know much about the
29-99
Spurs.
or 29-29.
29, yeah. DeRozan, he's still, he's
Yeah,
DeMar DeRozan.
he hasn't slowed down too much.
No.
Warriors at 29-30. Excuse me. This is what we were talking about earlier with Steph Curry. We can see why he's upset. Your team has a losing record, and you're, I'd say, one of the front runners for MVP.
Yes.
And so I can see where his woes come in. Here's where it gets messy. The Pelicans at the 11, and they're 26-33, even though Zion Williamson
Is
having-
playing phenomenal basketball as
and
well.
What makes me upset is that last year, ESPN felt the need to tell us what he had for breakfast like every day.
Yep.
So we all kind of got sick of him, and we were like, okay, you know what? They overhyped him so much
They overhyped Zion Williamson.
that now he's good at basketball.
He's very good at basketball. At this point, he's underrated, but no one wants to talk about Zion Williamson because that's all you heard about while he was playing at Duke, after he ripped his shoe, after he got drafted, and throughout his entire rookie season. He was all you heard about, and now, nobody wants to talk about Zion Williamson, even though, honestly, he could be in the top 10 players this year.
Right, and that's a shame because the media has done that. And same thing happened to LeBron James. He got so overpopularized that it
People
kinda
don't
became,
want to talk about them anymore.
Precisely. Same guy like Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
The Kings. I don't really know too much about the Kings. I know Halliburton's having a decent year. I know, I think Bojan Bogdanovic is on that team still.
Yep.
Wasn't he an all-star because of all the switch-ups?
I think so. I think Bogdanovich was on the All-Star team. I don't remember a lot from All-Star weekend.
They're 24 and 35, so that's pretty bad. Thunder are 20 and 39. I keep reading
The right first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not good. The T-Wolves.
That's a disappointing season for the Timberwolves.
16 and 44, and you have Karl Anthony Towns, who's back. He was hurt for a while.
Oh, he's playing. I mean,
Anthony Edwards too.
yeah. Which again, you pick someone that high up in the. Was he first
He
over?
was first overall.
He was first overall. When you could have picked a guy like LaMelo, who is changing that team for the better.
Was until.
Well, he was cleared to come back, I believe.
Was he really?
I think so. I truly believe I read that somewhere. Unless if yes, I believe he's able to come back.
What team? Where are the Hornets?
The Hornets
at right now?
East, and they're 8th.
That's not too bad.
No,
They
they're
got
playing
Scary
good
Terry.
basketball. Yep, Terry Rozier.
Is Bismack Biyombo
Yep.
still on that team? Anyways, to round it off, round it off, we got the Rockets at 15 and 44. I'd say it's a disappointing season for them, but they've got.
I wouldn't say it's a disappointing season for the Rockets. They got rid of everyone. They lost who they traded for. They got rid of Victor Oladipo.
Right.
They got rid of James Harden. They got rid of Russell Westbrook. I mean, it's time to rebuild. I mean, it's like the Magic. It's like the the Pistons have been rebuilding for the past 5 years.
Which is I'm just disappointed in the Cavs because you have a team that can win games, but you just aren't winning games. And maybe they can't win games. Maybe I'm wrong. I probably am wrong, to be honest with you, but we'll do the old just the Cavs. Oh yeah. Shout out Who Shiesty. You know, it's a weekly thing. We'll do the annual or weekly computer. But that's all we got for you today on the main show. Make sure you stick around, watch the next video.
The after show.
The after show is very important. You aren't going to want to miss it. Stay safe and stay epic.